Lesotho City volunteers have traveled to Botswana to distribute rice to the needy. A man who suffered a work-related injury became a Tzu Chi volunteer to reciprocate people's assistance. Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi volunteers in Lesotho have traveled to Botswana to distribute rice to families in need. It is their 22nd cross-country mission. As they distribute rice, local residents cheer, showing their optimism despite poverty. Let's take a look. With smiles, Lesotho volunteers have traveled to Botswana to deliver love and care. The bags of rice come with best wishes. The residents cheer as poverty did not deprive them of their innate innocence and passion.
We are Lesotho team. We arrived last night, and today on Saturday we accompany Botswana team to deliver rice from 3 different places. So we wish that they could do more and engage more volunteers.
By holding rice distributions, the Lesotho volunteers plant seeds of love in the minds of local residents. They've successfully completed their 22nd cross-country care mission. In Mozambique, Vincent comes from a poor background growing up in a slum, but he completed education to become a dentist 4 years ago. However, limited government funds make it hard for him to get a job. Therefore, he has to volunteer his medical services, including helping out at a Tima free clinic.
We are now going back to Vincent's home. This is where he lives with his parents.
Just like other families in the slums, Vincent's home was blown down after the cyclone Idai, leaving him with no choice but to temporarily reside in the house left behind by his deceased older sister.
There used to be zinc plates as they did repairs, but it was blown away during the cyclone, and they have been unable to complete the work.
Although he is a dentist and has professional skill, he cannot find a job and has no money to repair the home.
The process is very difficult. Most of the time the government say we don't have money to pay them. We don't have money to pay them. We just want to, it's our first period, it's just malaria, AIDS.
This is Vincent's dining room area.
Vincent has been a very good student since child. He relied on a scholarship provided by the government to finish medical school, but because he chose to become a dentist, he hasn't been employed after graduation. He shows us his transcript and his certifications showing he is qualified.
The score is 14 and the total score is 20. Vincent says that in Mozambique, this is a very good score.
His 80-year-old father suffered a stroke and his mother is over 60. Her seamstress job supports the family, and although she worked hard, she never wanted to give up. For 4 years, he has been a volunteer medical assistant in an urban hospital, waiting for the government to hire him. This year, when Tzu Chi came to run a free clinic, he felt the obligation to assist some 800 people.
I can't give you the advice to go to do volunteer jobs, because one day it's going to come a nice opportunity for you. You are going to know a lot of people. You are going to. It's really important to help the people.
Also, a young doctor, Long Carmen, sees Vincent's extraordinary desire to help others.
Because we are both doctors, and he has worked for 5 years, and I have also worked for 5 years. as we graduate at the same time. But his living environment is really bad. Even though he lives in poverty, he never thought about giving up.
Living in this country with few medical resources has not discouraged him from pursuing his dream of helping others.
In Malaysia, a flood devastated a village in Panshin, forcing 25 families to move into a temporary shelter. Volunteers from Tzu Chi Panshin Liaison Office assessed the damage and distributed supplies and consolation cash. In addition, they worked with the villagers to clean the community hall that was flooded.
Volunteers put various supplies into buckets. After the flood water receded, Tzu Chi volunteers distributed cleaning supplies to help the affected residents clean up their homes.
I'm very happy to receive these supplies since most of our homes have been damaged. Now that schools are opening, we did not need to worry as we have these supplies.
In the aftermath of the flood, several charity organizations came here, but Tzu Chi is the first one that sent cleaning supplies. It is very good. In the aftermath of the flood, we should focus on helping affected residents restore their lives.
In the aftermath of floods, there are a lot of damaged furniture and mud. The affected residents are busy cleaning their homes. Tzu Chi volunteers and other villagers work together to clean the community hall.
Cleaning is really hard work. My home has not been flooded. Therefore, when I was cleaning up, I thought it is not easy for the affected residents to clean their homes.
We really do not have the ability to clean up the public area. We are too busy cleaning our homes. Fortunately, Tzu Chi has come to help clean. I'm really happy.
Besides cleaning the public area, Tzu Chi volunteers also visit affected residents, giving them consolation cash.
I'm glad some people have come to care for us. This is the first time an NGO came. In the past, no one cared for us. I'm deeply touched to be able to receive help.
Thank God, after the floodwater receded, Tzu Chi volunteers have delivered cleaning supplies so that we can clean our homes. They have also provided care.
Volunteers have delivered their best wishes, hoping that villagers will stay pious and vigilant.
Kang Jianchuan lives with his mother in Zhangzhou, Fujian, China. He was in a job-related accident last October, which caused him fracture in his right calf. After the surgery, the doctor told him to rest, so he has not been able to work. As a result, his family faces financial difficulties. Their neighbors reported them to Tzu Chi. The volunteers visited them and began giving them financial assistance. And recently, the volunteers came again to clean their house so they can be prepared to celebrate the Lunar New Year.
My mother is old, and I also have the bone fracture, so I'm very happy that you came to see us. You're much better than our relatives because they cannot treat us in this way.
42-year-old Kang Jianchuan was in a job-related accident last October. This family also became financially strapped, so the neighbors reported them to Tzu Chi. And for the past 2 months, Tzu Chi volunteers have been concerned about his injury.
He said his two legs differed from 8 centimeters, but when he was doing rehabilitation at home, he'd pull his injured leg, and gradually it grew by 5 centimeters. There are 3 centimeters to go.
After Kang Jianchuan was injured, he cannot work nor clean their house. Furthermore, his mother likes to bring things home. The volunteers feel they should clean their home for the Lunar New Year.
When I was married, even my room wasn't as pretty as it is now. You've helped us make the house so clean and beautiful. Thank you very much.
The volunteers clean their house, reorganize the wires, and install new lights. They also bring in second-hand furniture, so the living room feels homely again. Seeing the volunteers busy in and out, the neighbors also boil water for the volunteers, who later bring daily goods to the Kang family and wish them a happy new year.
I'm grateful to our brothers and sisters for cultivating blessing with enthusiasm, so he can live in a wonderful environment where he can relax and recover. Tzu Chi's medical mission work with those in the community, helping many people get back on the right track. Today we meet Zeng Yongde, who was saved after a big fall. Now he's giving back to those who were helping by becoming a Tzu Chi volunteer.
Because I don't like studying. Since around 10 or so, when I was 15, I would do labor work, starting as an apprentice doing renovations such as painting, cement, and other things. This is my profession. My arm has some problems. You don't see it, but so does my knee and foot. They have recovered, but both my hands and feet are slower. My eyes are also bad. Which eye hurts? I'm nearsighted now, and this eye's a little bit slower, but there's no other impact. I've done some rehab, and now I think that I'm about 70%.
Wow, you look so cool. I have never seen him wear clothes like this and look so formal. I just wanted to find a way to get his appearance back to normal and allow him to have a natural bite so he can return to normal life. I never thought that he would become a Tzu Chi volunteer.
I said, Bozi, you worked so hard for 8 hours to save this man's life. You have earned a great merit. But he said, Superintendent, I would tell you secretly that our hospital lost money on this because in our health insurance system, they only have a fixed payment for this. For example, for a broken bone, they only pay this much. And if you break a lot of bones and have a very complicated surgery, you get the same money. He said we might lose $6,000 on this. He asked me not to blame him, that he wasn't kidding, but he was just committed to saving this person's life. His son brought his prize stamp collection and asked Bozi to keep it for him. Bozi said he liked the stamps but asked him to keep it for him, and when he wanted to play with it, he would seek him out.
我们有冰要退吗？我们没有冰要退。师兄，谢谢你。好，这个要签。谢谢。
啊，不晓得哪一边啊？哎呀，方向搞不清楚。师兄好了，好，谢谢，谢谢，感恩。
他最近是真的进步很多，尤其是花莲。
He has really improved a lot recently, especially after coming back from Hualien. He really learns to be grateful and believes he can earn merit and pass it on to others, such as helping me heal from liver disease. He says it is great and he never used to say that before. When he came back to me that day from his training and said that, I really felt so touched.
就好感动。
Tzu Tzu Chi volunteer Zhao Ming was born in a peasant family in Shanghai. In order to get away from the poor living environment, he worked hard and succeeded at a young age. However, he was arrogant and lost himself and was finally sent to prison. Also, his marriage was once in trouble. But his life changed after joining Tzu Chi with his wife when he was released from prison. He visited impoverished families and did recycling. His family has deep feelings about his change.
Teaching the concept of recycling with a smile and bending over to do recycling is Tzu Chi volunteer Zhao Ming. He is very humble now, which is very different from his past. Being a school principal, he became too arrogant, leading him to go to jail. Even his wife almost left him.
In the past, I used to think he had no family concept. He was always very busy. We had little communication with each other.
The bottom of life is an opportunity for change. During the time in prison, his wife joined Tzu Chi after reading the Jinxi book, Why Heart and Pure Mind, and took him to join the ranks of volunteers after his release from prison. His father-in-law has a deep feeling about his change.
He changed a lot after joining Tzu Chi, who respects and cares about us more.
This year, the couple served as staff members together in the end-of-year blessing ceremony. Unlike his proud and arrogant past, Zhao Ming kept growing and thanking participants from the beginning of the event to the end.
My grandson is disobedient. He came to my home to teach my grandson how to respect the elderly.
If you are speechless in front of them, it's just because you think that you have nothing to say. But in fact, after joining Tzu Chi, I found that owing to the affinity with others, there's actually a lot to communicate with other people.
Being selfless and considerate to others, Zhao Ming passed through a low tide in his life and found value through giving.
We should cherish our food and not waste it. This will allow more people to have food to eat. This is the correct way to reduce the burden for Earth. Our stomach has a limited space, but our desire for food can be unlimited. When you're hungry, it is hard to resist the desire for food. Will you order every dish or control your desire? Because it won't just affect your wallet, but also if food will be wasted.
I usually order one portion because I don't want to waste one portion of food.
Some people cannot finish their meals, some children cannot finish their meals, and some parents order too much. But their children won't want to eat them. It happens once in a while.
I only order what I anticipate I can eat. Normally it's a small portion. I try not to waste food.
Restaurant owners are also important in checking for food waste.
I had cooked many times, but I often couldn't sell out all my meals, so it was a headache. We would ask the volunteers to come and pack up the meals for care recipients. Now I can control my meals pretty good. Sometimes I can sell 80 to 90% of foods, and we will eat the leftovers.
We should choose to eat 80% food and know how much we can eat. We should also take home the leftovers if there is any.
People nowadays live wonderful lives with enough food to eat. If you have tried to remain hungry for a while, you will know we shouldn't waste food.
Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations estimates that 1/3 of the food produced around the world is either destroyed or wasted. If we are not careful, the leftover we create will become part of this 1/3. The cans and bottles of salt, vinegar, or other seasonings are also the leftover we often forget. Tan Hui-feng lives alone, and she often wastes her seasonings before finishing them.
I cannot finish using all the spaghetti sauce because its bottle is usually very large, but it can become moldy very easily. So if I want to cook spaghetti, I'll make the sauce myself. It is easier this way, so I don't need to buy the spaghetti sauce in a large can. Many foods are in packages. Take the bread, for example. So I was worried that if I can finish alone, then I decided to share it with my roommate or take it to the company and share it with my colleagues. I hope these food companies will think about singles like me or small families by producing food in smaller bottles of foods that can be packaged easily.
If we can reduce food loss and waste, we can also help create a world without hunger. And it is also a key to make the world more sustainable.
On average, one person comes down with dementia every 3 seconds in the world. It not only affects memory, but also cognitive ability. Nutritionists remind patients with dementia to choose a Mediterranean-type diet with a large number of fruits and vegetables.
Despite these elders' vitality is the disease of dementia, which is like an eraser, removing their memories. As time goes by, the condition gets worse. According to the Ministry of Health and Welfare, about 1 in 12 people over 65 years old have dementia, and 1 in 5 over 80 years old suffer from it.
His entire cognitive function is deteriorating, so he may actually have poor memory, or his emotions may sometimes actually go up and down. If they spend more time with elders with dementia, they may become more stable.
It's not only memory loss, but also cognitive dysfunction. Even basic things such as diet may lead to a lack of nutrients.
These elders may not be able to tell if food is raw or cold, or they may still feel hungry after eating. Some part of their brain may lose sensitivity, so they may overeat, but they still feel like they didn't eat. Depression and emotional instability may lead them to refuse to eat some food like this.
In order for those with dementia to get enough nutrition, caregivers can choose the Mediterranean diet, which is rich in vitamins and unsaturated fats. This has been proven to reduce cardiovascular disease, and the risk of Alzheimer's disease can also be reduced by about 70%.
It is based on a large number of vegetables, whole grains and beans. The foundation includes eating eggs, dairy products, and when using cooking oil, choose olive oil. In Taiwan, tea seed oil is similar to olive oil. For the Mediterranean diet, avoid sugary drinks and reduce creamy.
In addition to grasping the principles of a balanced diet, exercise and learning new things can stimulate the brain. Also, controlling chronic diseases can avoid affecting the brain, and more importantly, maintaining social activities. In the next 47 years, the average number of people with dementia in Taiwan will increase 36 people per day, or a rate of 1 new case of dementia every 40 minutes. This means we must all pay attention to the growing problem of dementia.
The annual Rose Parade has taken place in the United States. The American Organ Donor Organization One Legacy has also participated in the parade to pay respect to organ donors. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.